This is John Hill from Tropolis. According to businessstudent.com, Tulsa, Oklahoma is the most affordable city in America with an average yearly salary of $47,314 and the average rent is only $686. Now, comparing this with New York City, where the average salary is $69,000 and 26 extra little dollars there, and the average rent is $4,000. In New York, you're spending about 70% of your income monthly on rent. And in Oklahoma, you're spending about 18%. So today we're meeting up with my friends Cody and Sarah Jensen, who are actually from Oklahoma. We're gonna ask them what it's like to live in New York City now, coming from the most affordable city in America. What was your home like in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
So we had, which one?
Which one?
We've owned 3 homes.
Starting at what age did you buy your first home?
18.
You know, I moved out of my parents' house into the house that I owned because it was so dang cheap. And so the first house that we bought was $35,000. 720 square feet, so it's more than double the size of our apartment here. And our mortgage every month was $280.
Well, why did you buy the second house?
So we moved out of that house from our small town that we were from, Enid, which is even cheaper than Tulsa, but it's not a major city, so it doesn't make the list.
Right.
But then we moved to Tulsa, and the first house we bought there was $120,000, and it was 2,500 square feet. It had 5 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, 2 kitchens, a bonus room. And
it was basically like a whole home with a mother-in-law suite built onto it. So it was like an entire home and an entire 1-bedroom apartment. And it was how much a month for that place? The mortgage was $950, something like that. $1,000 maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it ever hit $1,000.
What about for the third house?
So the third house we downsized from 2,500 square feet to 1,300 square feet.
Was it just too much room and you were?
What's crazy is in that house, each couple had their own bedroom, and then each person had their own room to themselves. Their own office that they could do whatever they wanted with. So I had my own office, Sarah had her own office, we had a photography studio and a music room.
So the less than 1,000, is that per each person was paying less than 1,000?
No.
Or total? And you said how many people were living there?
4.
4.
Each couple was basically paying like $450 to $500. We moved into a nicer neighborhood. There was a mid-century modern neighborhood. They were the only houses in town that we really liked, and so we got one. So we paid $135,000 for that one, and it was 1,300 square feet, and so it was 4 bedrooms with 1.5 bath, living room, kitchen.
What were you guys doing for work, if you don't mind me asking? Because you were self-employed at the time, or you were freelancing?
Yeah, I mean, it was both. So we moved to Tulsa to help start a church there with 3 other families. In the span of all these years, went from just freelancing and not getting paid from the church to getting paid a little bit from the church, freelancing, and started a clothing company that ended up doing really well. And so we were doing all of that.
What made you guys decide to move to New York City if you could work from home?
I guess mostly me. Like I've always wanted to live in New York, and it just kind of, I mean, everything lined up to be the right time.
Why do you want to move here?
I don't know. Honestly, I've always wanted to get out of Oklahoma. That was like, I didn't necessarily have like, this is where I want to go. I always said, I'm going to live in New York for at least a year and like experience every season in New York. But outside of that, I didn't really have a preference of where we landed. But I wanted to get out of Oklahoma. That was it.
What's like the size difference, and if you're okay with sharing the money difference? Or...
Yeah. Our last home in Tulsa, the mid-century home, was 1,300 square feet. Our studio apartment is 300 square feet. Our mortgage in Tulsa was $850, and our rent here is $2,200. So quite different. 2
nationwide things that everybody would relate to would be Starbucks and Chipotle. Chipotle, in like what we typically will go to Chipotle and we'll both get 2 tacos a piece, and in Oklahoma that's like right at $10, and then here it's $13.
Well, have you noticed a big difference in your work that you do now? Are there more people to collaborate with at least? And what's the benefits of living in New York in terms of making more money?
That's a good question. I'm trying to figure that out. So finding like YouTube collaborators and things like that, that's definitely easier here because there's more.
Yeah.
Finding actual community is way harder here than it was in Tulsa. People in Tulsa value people and they value community deeply. And so finding those deep connections and finding the people who are your like life people, and they're always there for you. They are supportive and backing you up, and they want to help you get anything done that you possibly want to do. Though we have felt that was much easier to come by and much easier to develop in Tulsa. Here, it's like we've been able to find some friends, but as far as like that deep community and the level of friendship where it's like, hey, what are we doing today? And not like, hey, what are you doing in 2 weeks? Or like, what's the schedule? Like, can we hang out? Do you want to get dinner sometime? That type of friendship I feel like is easy to find in New York. But everybody, I don't know if it's because everybody's so busy and like hustling, or if because community isn't as valued deeply in New York as it is in smaller places. But we have found that it has been much harder to develop like a deep community here. But New York does offer much more opportunity in professional sense. So, there's only, in a smaller place, there's only so much opportunity to go around. But it's also a different opportunity because here, it's very hard to be on the ground floor of anything. You're kind of coming into something that's already going, and you have to break in, and you have to like find the network in order to like get your way into these things. Versus in Tulsa, it was so cool because we got to be in the ground floor of so many things, and like we're in this community of 30 young people who are like building the town and making it cool and get to be a part of all of this stuff. Versus here, I mean, you get to be a part of making like maybe this community cool, but it's not like making New York cool. New York doesn't need help.
Here it seems like you have more chances to break into something to make more money for the job, and there you just get more of a chance to be a part of community and build. Also, can we look at your apartment?
Yeah, definitely.
Sick. Thanks, that's fun.
So this is it. This is the whole apartment. It's only 300 square feet. So basically, this area, this kind of square, is what makes up our living room, our bedroom, our dining room, our office. But we designed it in a way where it can be multifunctional and we can transform it as we go. So this is kind of the standard layout of just hanging out, watching TV. With this coffee table is everything. It is like one of the hero pieces, affiliate link in the description. So lunchtime comes around, we just raise this up like this, and we typically will eat lunch like this. We will change it from our lunch table over to the 6-person dining table. And as you can see, there's not really seating for 6 people currently. So we can roll this out of the way and we'll pull this extra bench out here.
I love this so much.
And then now we have seating around. We also have a few different seating options from our office that we can put over here for this side, and pretty comfortably seat 6. More than that, it gets, you can do it, but it gets a little tight on that front, because what the bench actually is for the guest bed. And so you pull it out like there. You can take the cushions off to make it actually a full queen size bed, and we store all of the bedding under here. So we just pull out the blankets and the pillows, put it on here, and then we can actually easily sleep 4 people in this tiny cube. So we don't actually sleep here though. That is just whenever we have friends come into town. Every night I come over here and pull this down. And then voila, this is our bedroom.
I hope you enjoyed the video of the Jensens, Cody and Sarah. If you want to check out their channel, they actually have a way more in-depth video.
We also are way more in debt too.
They are, yeah, because of New York City. That's the whole point of this video. But if you want, be sure to subscribe to their channel. They make very authentic content in New York City, which is the whole point of Tropolis, to showcase authentic stories within the people, within the city, within the Matrix. So yeah, and subscribe to this channel, and just make sure to follow along and tune in weekly, as of right now, for videos on this channel. Take care.
Bye.
Peace.
I hope you enjoyed the first Tropolis video. These will be coming out every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, aka 9 a.m. in California. But if you do want to listen to the whole interview of any of these videos, you can check out the podcast down below in the description. It's the full interview that sometimes goes on for an hour or more, but especially with Cody and Sarah, we got into a lot more details about living in both cities. So it's great content to listen to while you're on the road, while you're moving forward. You don't have to sit there and focus. You can just listen to while you're on the way to work. So tune in next time for another Tropolis video. Thank you.